Hello.
Hello everyone, can anybody hear me? You won't be able to see me, but can
Yes.
anybody hear me?
Can you hear Robin? He's asking, just in case you can't hear him. Can anybody hear Robin? Because I'm trying. We are having some technical headaches right now. Um. Yep. Yes. Morning. And
Okay.
hurrah! Hello everybody. Hello all. You're all beautiful, happy people. We had some last minute. It's been horrible today. I got in from London about 9:30. We haven't actually had a chance to test all the gear out. I tested it with myself, which worked fine, but and I thought it would be just as easy to just Skype Robin in and stick his picture on the screen, but it's not. So sadly, Robin is not going to be on screen, but hopefully you can hear him. So all is good on that front at least. So you just won't be able to see him today.
You can only see me. I can type. You can hear me typing.
Yeah, tippity tap, tippity tap. That's it. So apologies for that. It's just going to be my face and Robin's disembodied voice for now.
Your face, my arse.
Some say they can't tell the difference. It's like butter, and I can't believe it's not butter. I can't believe it's not Robin's arse. So how is everybody in the world of Beastgrave? How are you today, Robin?
I'm not too bad. I should point out my arse doesn't have a beard.
Well, it depends, you know.
So anyway, yeah, I'm not too bad. I've been really busy, and I'm not terribly prepared for this live stream. But at least you can't see me when I sort of root through tabs and things on Chrome to try and find the information that I need to try and speak coherently. Hooray!
So, Robin, you talk for a minute. I'm just fiddling in
You want me to talk? Oh my goodness!
So
well, I suppose we should probably start because today is Thank a Patreon Day.
It is.
Or some such thing that Patreon have decided that today is Thank a Patreon Day, and obviously we are grateful to our patrons every day. But today we're sort of supposed to give them a big shout out. So we thought we'd do that here. So we just want to say thank you to everybody who supports us on Patreon, because it really is without you guys we wouldn't be able to have a live chat where you couldn't see me.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the most important thing.
So yeah, so thank you very much. We've thanks basically to Patreon, we've been able to take this channel on and on and on, and sometimes go on and on and on as well. But
we've and on.
So take it on and improve it and keep getting better. And I've noticed that
even if our games don't.
Pete shared a video with me today earlier of mini wargaming. Sort of, I didn't watch it all, but it sounds like they're not doing so well on the financial side. Now, obviously, we're not quite as big an outfit as them, but through your support, we've been able to buy ourselves new kit, and we're in a good place and hoping to build up towards live games. I think we need about another 8 patrons, and then we're there, aren't we, Pete?
Eight $5 patrons will get us over the line. So obviously, if we get any $10 patrons, or if we end up with a level higher than $10 for whatever reason, then some of those would do us.
Some sort of magic. Oh, somebody's just subbed us on Patreon. Brilliant.
Woo!
Thank you very much.
So that's what I love about Patreon.
That's that candle, but
we've hit 60. Bam, 60 people. There we go.
Wow, that's the first time we've been up to 60, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Thank you.
Kind of drift. I remember when we drifted through 40 or 40, we kept going up and then down below into 30. And then I'm putting my hands in the air, which none of you can see that. And then 50 was the same.
Yeah.
And if you pay 20, we'll take it away again, Andrew.
If you pay 20, you get to see everything. No, anyway, I swore I wouldn't do that anymore.
Thank you very much, guys. And I guess we should probably crack on. And if you're finished, Pete, I can't see whether you're finished.
Yeah, if you pay $30, you get rid of my face too. You can see me, Robin. You've still got Skype up. You can see me. I can see you.
But I'm watching the chat.
The people can't see you.
I'm watching the chat.
We had a non come along recently, and so anyway, yes.
I can't see anything.
We've had Tom Agate. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Tom's joined, so thank you, Tom. Everybody who's new, who joins us on the channel, who does subscribe to us on Patreon, do check your inbox, because we do send a message to everyone as soon as they join. Just say thank you again, all that kind of stuff. But also, we need to know what name to put on our videos, because we have our thank you list at the end.
And does that video also have the link to the Patreon Discord? Pete?
No. Yes, sorry.
Good.
Usually I mention in the email the Discord, and hopefully people then get that as well. So yes.
Yeah, because that is a definite. Well, I think it's a perk. Guys, is it a perk? That we
Yeah.
Chat on there. You get all sorts of exciting live tweet experiences on there.
Tommy has just said that he was the one who's subbed us on Patreon, so thank you for that, dude. Just put a little thank you in the channels as well. You are awesome. All of you are awesome. Without of you, we wouldn't be here jabbering away like nutters like this.
No.
I will hopefully have the video fixed for next time as well. So anyway, that's enough of that rubbish.
It's like that card, isn't it? 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
It is.
Next week we'll have double audio. I mean double video.
What do people think of the setup, by the way? I've got this little porthole thing going on, but I don't know if people would rather just have bigger pictures of us. I don't know. Anyway, comments below. So let's crash on with our evening's chitter chatter. We have many things to discuss, and I don't know if are we gonna spend long on reboundgate. I don't think we need to.
Reboundgate.
Yeah.
Well, we could just spend the next 50 minutes talking about Rebound, and then we've sorted. Do we want to talk about Rebound? How much do people want us to talk about Rebound?
I personally, I'm a little irked that GW have printed cards like Rebound again, but at the same time, I don't think it makes that much difference overall. I mean, people are like, it's ruined the whole game. It is a bit yawn, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should have brought it back. But I'm not sold my stuff.
No.
Sold his stuff. Yeah, I don't think they should have brought it back. I don't think it's a particularly overpowered card, but I think when it's used, I don't think it's particularly skillful to use it. It's kind of like just put it in the deck and hope for the best. And I think it does create, and Andrew often talks about his negative player experience, and I think even if I can say it's completely valid, especially if somebody's playing Mollog and destroying you all the time, then that's pretty negative as well. But so it is valid. But I just feel like when somebody plays Rebound, and especially if you play like I often do, play Eyes of the 9, when you finally get Kacharik into a position where he can actually do something and he didn't die, then it's a shame that they play Rebound and that's it, done.
I kind of hope, if anything, it might encourage people to go for those less all egg in one basket type scenarios, because it's another thing which could absolutely blow your plans to pieces. Yeah. And it's better to do multiple 2 damage sort of attacks than it is to do 1 6 damage attack and risk the chance of rebound, because obviously rebound's not really that much use. If your attacks are only doing maybe 2, possibly the odd 3 damage thing, it's not as game changing in that situation. I hope, if anything, it just encourages people to not go that route, and a lot more people are taking objective based decks as well, so I'm hoping that that's even less reason for people to have a real need for it anymore.
No, I agree. I mean, I think I'm actually more annoyed from the gift pack point of view that they put in old cards and new cards. I think that is I don't think they should have done that. I can see why they've done it, but I just feel actually you've got a base of however many thousand people who've played this game from the beginning, and you basically said, screw you. we're gonna make you buy something you've already bought and probably don't really want those 10 cards. I think that's really rubbish. And I kind of wish people would vote with their feet and say we're not going to buy it, but I suspect people won't. So.
Well, anybody who wants to be competitive is going to have to buy it for probably one of the cards before it ends up on the bar list or something like that. Well,
this is the sort of thing. I haven't actually, I haven't actually had a proper sit down and worked out which is the must-have card of the 10, or however many there are new ones. So I don't know if anybody else has done that.
No, I haven't had a chance yet to look at them either.
No, it's
but I mean, this was one of the subjects, was the gift pack, and I do think that overall I'm not bowled over by it. I mean, the tokens, for the pits I've seen, the tokens, they look okay. The board itself is just a piece of card, which is a bit naff, really. But I know it's just
really
an extra.
Not very good. I mean, you haven't seen it, have you? Because
I haven't in the flesh, no.
Last. But the board is. I mean, yeah, it's not very good. Full stop.
And I agree what Joe says. It could be cheaper if they hadn't put the crappy board and tokens in, because people they just wanted cards.
Exactly, yeah, and I was thinking of actually doing a separate video about this because I've said to Pete behind the scenes, I just feel the whole thing is just a waste of resources. I mean, I know gaming hobbies or whatever, you could argue they're all a waste of resources, but gaming isn't. We all get all sorts of joy out of it for a myriad of reasons, whether creative, artistic, strategic, all that kind of stuff. It's a hobby, and it's a wonderful hobby. But this is basically just a thing to make people spend money, and it's got plastic and cardboard. It's got far too much plastic in the packaging. I just think
that annoys me as well.
the whole thing is just a nonsense. And I think it's a really bad move on GW's part. However, I am very grateful that they sent me it, and I hope they continue to send me things. I think it's a misstep, a definite misstep.
Yeah, I think this is possibly one of the worst decisions they've made with Underworld so far, and the things they've made for it. Marcel's also posted in there about the Champions of Dreadfane. I'm not a massive fan. I mean, we knew it was coming. Interestingly, though, the cards that are in the Champions of Dreadfane are numbered 1 to 64, but in Dreadfane the box, it's numbered 1 to 124 or whatever it is. So it's like, so what? Suddenly we've lost 60 odd cards there. Or are we going to get those at some point? Did you decide it was just a bad idea? But I'm not sure what's going on there. They obviously know because they're there behind the scenes plotting everything. But yeah, that was another weird one for me. I was like,
Quite a few people commenting or at least 2 people commenting that they're not going to buy the gift pack because it's it's because of its gouging, basically. Nobody said that, but that's basically what it boils down to, isn't it? And I think that's really good. So I hope, then hopefully if it has a diminished sale, Games Workshop will realise that that's why it. It's. I'm looking in the camera. I'm not even on camera, am I? I hope people with Games Workshop will realise it's a misstep, and hopefully they won't think, "Oh, that's a bit odd. Underworlds is down. We must be doing something wrong." Maybe it's rubbish and can the whole lot. But hopefully they'll realise that they shouldn't have done that, and they don't do it again next year. Because that's the other thing, is that they can keep doing it. Of course, they can keep Rebound back year after year after year.
I mean, the problem, it will just keep rebounding or repeating anyway. The problem is, you go on Underworld's DB now, and there are so many frigging subsection card boxes and stuff. I mean, it's just going to do his head in. The number of things he's got to filter on, it just gets stupid. Red Rose says they're not going to buy it because they have no illusions about being a top tier player, and I don't either. But I'm such an anal completist, I'm probably going to have to buy it just because. There was another comment in here that. Oh, I've lost it now. We've got too many comments coming along now. So many people commenting. Don't stop, by the way. I love it. But I'm just trying to comment on. I'm not happy with it, but I'll probably still buy it, and that's the worst situation to be in. I think it's not. I'm not happy with it, and I'm not going to buy it because at least you feel like you're doing something then. But I'm still going to do it anyway.
Jonathan Coe said he's never got an Underworlds mat, and he's looking forward to it even as a veteran. I'm not quite sure what that means because trust me, you don't. This is like it's the equivalent of a McDonald's burger, really. If you're looking forward to it, it's going to be flat and limp when you do.
And disappointing, yeah. It's not like the neoprene ones. It's just a cheap, crabby piece of cardboard.
And it doesn't even sit flat, so you can't even really use it.
It's even more annoying.
Yeah, but the one I say, I've only got a sample of one, but the one I had didn't sit flat.
Oh no, that's not good. Okay, fine.
Anyway, that's all a bit negative.
But anyway, yeah, so we'll move on from that. I think overall, Rebound, I don't think makes that much of a difference. It depends on how much you get subjected to it. I guess the solution is if someone keeps playing Rebound on you, then switch up your deck. Play a different play style. Don't go for an all eggs in one basket approach to your attacks. And maybe you'll then find that your opponent realises that there's no point in them having it in their deck anymore, and they'll start switching out of their deck. Change your meta if you want to change their meta, I guess is the key in that situation. But it can still be annoying.
Definitely.
I know that Nick from GW said that last year in the Summer Grand Clash, it wasn't last year, it was still this year actually, in the Summer Grand Clash, he had it and he played it about 8 or 9 times during the Grand Clash on the first day, and it didn't come off once. So
right. Well, there is that thing with it, isn't there?
Yeah, it is only a 1/3 chance.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's move on from there. It's a bit depressing, that one. So let's move on to some of our questions from our Patreoners, because it's Thank You Patreoners Day. So let's have a crash through. Are there any of the old cards which have been brought back which you think will still not see play? I think there are a few in there. There were definitely a couple in there that, when I was looking at it, I thought, I'm probably still never going to take that card. I think the cards which were, grab objectives 3, 4, and 5, that kind of thing, probably, I don't know, many people who are going to take those.
No, Tactical Genius, definitely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take those.
Because, and I've lost it now, I had them all on Underworld's DB, but I accidentally closed the window, I think, when I was frantically Googling on how to get Robin's picture on screen and furiously swearing under my breath about them. But yeah, is it Tactical Genius or Tactical whatever it is?
Tactical Genius, yeah, 1 to 3 and 3 to 5. I mean, the Supremacies, I think, will see use. Tactical Supremacy 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah.
The Tactical Geniuses, where there's so many multiple objective cards now. I think those ones are too hard to score for only 3 glory.
And I think, like Jason has just said, Tactical Genius is just a less convenient Supremacy, and
yeah, exactly.
Also, and because it only gives you 3 glory, so screw it, go for Supremacy or go for the other one and get the instant score 2 glory at the end of activation instead, because that's going to be so much better to do.
Much better card.
I do wonder if No Time is going to see much play, really.
No Time is one of those cards that you'd really like to include in your deck, but actually you can't think of a reason to do it.
A good enough reason, yeah.
I don't know whether people who play more widely have found that there is a use for it, because I can see where it could be useful. It might be useful if keys become a real thing. But even then, people will get their keys out one way or the other. But obviously, you want to play your keys as late as possible.
Yeah.
So somebody was playing, but I'm not sure. I'm quite pleased they brought back the keys. And
there are a few other objectives now that benefit from keys. There's if I can quickly find it, there's Finders of the Way, which is scoring in phases 3 or more surviving friendly fighters have a cursed key, which is I like that. It's not a bad little thing.
How many is that worth?
2 glory.
2 glory. Yeah.
You gotta have 3 keys, but it's 2 glory for playing 3 upgrades.
It's a little bonus if somebody manages to move you off an objective or a couple of objectives. It's not quite so all or nothing, is it?
Yeah, you've just got to have the keys equipped. You don't even need to be on an objective, so that's quite nice. But I'm not sure about some of the others. I'm not sure about Daylight Robbery. Is that going to see much play?
It's good in the glory starving meta.
True.
That was used a couple of times against me in the Grand Clash.
It's always painful.
Yeah.
And of course, Distraction is back.
Yes,
that's a big one. And I think that needed to come. We needed a distraction-y type card. Some people were saying Distraction was worse than Rebound, but I don't think it is. It's frustrating when it gets played on you, but if you're seriously playing an objective-grabbing game, you should have enough cards in your deck to hopefully, mitigate that.
Yeah, exactly. There's ways around it, and it adds to the skill of the game, I think. Whereas Rebound, as I said, it doesn't add to the skill level of the game. It's just either or. Yeah, this happens or it doesn't happen. That's what I don't like about it. Yeah, Distraction. I'm looking forward to playing it. I think in some ways it's a bit of a shame it came back, because there were a few interesting alternatives to Distraction that did slightly more interesting things. And now, if you've got a choice, you could probably just go play Distraction, because it's more straightforward. So you had things like Irresistible Prize and Centre of Attention, and there was another one where you could move 2 of yours and one of the other guys, or they moved one of the other guys.
Forward.
Those kind of things, they weren't quite Distraction. And I think the Ghouls had one where they could make, if you were adjacent to them, you could make somebody
2 hexes away.
Yeah. Whereas this Distraction is just nice and easy and far more utilitarian, I think, so therefore more likely to be in competitive decks, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I agree completely. I'm not sure about Victorious Duel, whether people will play that much. I mean, it is 2 glory, but you've got to kill their leader with your leader. And how often does that happen? I mean, if you're going for it on purpose, then it might be easier, but at the same time, probably not. And as has been commented in the channel, we've got misdirection, not misdirection. We've got mischievous spirits back, which could be funky, could be quite interesting with all the objective play bouncing around now.
Well, exactly. That was one of those cards that never got played because nobody ever played
Yeah,
objectives.
yeah, it was no point.
Whereas now it's definitely got potential to be back in and really cause chaos, really, all sorts of plans, especially if you've both got it.
It does get a bit mad then, yeah. Could be running around all over the place. Mark has pointed out that distraction being gone made those warbands that had their own version of it, like Chosen Axe and Sepulchral Guard, a little bit more special. They had something there, but it is gone now, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually.
And Marcel says his current LHM deck, I'm not sure what LHM stands for, I'll try and think of what that might be, is scoring super easy stuff with them. LHM.
Lady Harrow's Morphlight.
Ah, yeah. Nice. Just about denying objectives from scoring. Yeah, I think that's Lady Harrow. I do like Lady Harrow. Got a little soft spot for her. I played her once or twice. I know. Quite liked her. Be interested to see how she does with more of the cards available. There are a few other cards bouncing around that I think are quite nice in that gift set though. Guardian Glaive looks quite nice. If this fighter is holding an objective, you can re-roll any number of attack dice in the attack roll. It's 2 range, 2 hams, 2 damage. It's not a bad one. Run in, stand on an objective, get re-rolls on your attacks. Could make you quite nasty. With a range of 2, means you can probably hit at least 1 or 2 people each turn.
Oh yes, I quite like the Guardian Glaive. Sorry, I'm just catching up. Yes, yeah.
And there's another one in here where if you Jealous Defense, choose a friendly fighter who has no charge tokens on an objective, and they can make an attack action. So you can effectively move, then use that to get the attack off instead of making that charge, possibly with the Guardian Glaive, and then they can keep attacking the next round and the round after that as well. So
yeah,
it's quite a nice little combination there of cards.
It's promoting that objective play, which the game definitely needed.
I think so, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see because there's a few things to counter it. There's a few things to flip objectives now. The games where I keep desperately trying to cast. I forgot the name of the card, but the one that flips them over that I played wrong.
Yeah.
One of the games, and that's really hard to spell because it's really hard to cast because it's 2 focuses.
Yeah.
But there's a few alternatives. There's one where you move onto it, isn't it? And you can flip one. And I think there's a spell that's a bit easier to cast as well for just flipping one.
Yeah.
So there's lots of ways of slimming down the objectives on the board and then bringing them back again because it is just flip the token. So I think it could potentially be very interesting if people pick up the meta and run with it, or whether they might decide it's too risky and then actually end up going to a more offensive style. I don't really know how that's going to fall out.
Yeah. So one other question was any other news on when the new warbands will be out? We've not heard anything. So
no, I feel like is it February time something they came out?
I reckon it'll be late January, early February. The next warband will land. Yeah, I think that'll be.
Interesting to see whether they release them separately again.
Yeah, I quite like them releasing them separately. It gives us a bit of time to play with the new.
Well, I do too. I think it's nicer. It doesn't. It gives extra shifts to the meta as well. It doesn't completely obliterate the existing meta. It kind of evolves
a little bit
fluidly, which is quite nice.
Yeah. And another question was, why do we not play with the 3D objectives anymore? We will bring them back now. We wanted to start with to show off the Beastgrave cards and artwork and all of the bits that came with that, but I think it's time now to break out the 3D objectives again.
Okay, I'll take you. Oh, we had the nice ones from
yes,
Rupert.
It was a Rupert. I'm terrible with names. I'm awful.
Yeah, I think it was Rupert. Yeah.
I keep saying to what's the name the other day that I'm terrible with names. Oh, what's her name? My wife. Yeah. So I keep telling her I'm terrible with names. Another question we got was, do we think that the requirements on Frenzied Search are too demanding?
That's because we keep getting it wrong.
Yeah.
We're there now, David.
Yeah.
I don't think we were meant to read that question out, if I'm honest, Pete. It just makes us look a bit stupid.
I think we managed that on our own.
I think it's because we spend so long playing objective play that you kind of almost think there must be somebody on an objective all the time anyway, and then sort of fail to notice that there isn't. But definitely in our last game, we were definitely very careful to make sure that we played it properly.
We were very, very careful indeed. Ed has put a template in all of our Patreon supporters. You can go on Discord, and there is a live channel chat there, which we also monitor for any immediate questions to answer. And Ed's posted a rather fetching picture in there. for our thing next week to use. But it's sorry. Anyway, back to the questions. Where would we like to see Magic go in the Beastgrave? We're expecting some more casters for Nurgle and Daughters of Cain. I don't know about Daughters of Cain. We haven't seen, I don't know if we've seen any artwork with the Daughters of Cain cast yet, but it would be nice. And Nurgle obviously definitely have a caster. And where would we like to see Magic go in Beastgrave? I've never really played Magic that much. I've certainly never played any Magic heavy decks like you have. I'm quite happy with there being 1 or 2 Magic cards in a deck floating around, giving you some options when you're playing and some extra little tricks up your sleeve. But I don't want it to become the must-have mode to win the game.
No,
I'd like
I
it to
feel
just be a thing, a little extra.
I feel like the balance actually, I don't know whether it was deliberate or a happy byproduct, but I feel like the balance of the Magic has got better. There's more reasons to take spells now, rather than just because it's not so heavily offensive. I know there were a couple of casters who could really take the heavy, what's his name, Stormsire could be quite Magic heavy. But I think I think now there's a few more reasons to take a few more of the spells. Like there's one that wounds, or maybe a couple that wound people if they're on objectives. And they're relatively easy to cast. And there's just a few more for reasons to take it. And then you can start taking the magic objectives, like casting 4 spells and things like that. Because you've got a few more reasons. I think Andrew's already alluded to it in the comments somewhere. Is Iara's Lost Shield? Is that the one?
Lost Shield, yeah.
Is that the one that it's a reaction to being hit?
Yeah.
And cast a spell.
And it reduces the damage by 1, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
So then you've got, that's another way of casting spells, which is quite nice.
That is
I really
nice.
enjoyed. Well, actually, I really enjoyed it. I didn't quite have enough in the Tsar bag, so he was a bit left without having anything to cast some of the game. But I really like the Eyes of the Nine game we played with. That had a few more spells, and it was quite good fun. I was very lucky with the spell dice rolls, which probably helps. Probably does make the whole thing seem more.
I think you need to put those dice in a case on a silk cushion to keep them happy until January's Grand Clash, and then break them out again. Someone did question in there that are we going to be coming to the tournament in Kiel this weekend, just around the sea corner? Yeah, we wish.
I'm actually going Christmas shopping with my wife this weekend, which I think is the last time. The last time we had a day out was when we went Christmas shopping last year. So I will not be coming to Kiel to play.
I wish I could come to Kiel, but sadly, no. I wish. It's pretty much. It's
very nice. Maybe we'll go and do our Christmas shopping in Kiel.
German market, Christmas markets, all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
They're always nice to look at. And someone else has Malachi said, would we like to see some better supporting spell, or he would like to see some better support spells to keep fighters alive. I agree. There are a few, but they're kind of a bit too reactive. I think I'd like to see a few more spells that might buff people in advance of getting their face mashed in with a hammer, so they've got a chance of surviving. It always reminds me of that game back when we played when the Eyes and the Gits first came out, so probably around this time last year, and you cast a spell on Kacharik, which was like at the beginning of each round he'll get a wound back, and then I just mashed him to death in like the next attack, and he was dead, and it was like that was it. So it didn't really matter at all, didn't help in any way whatsoever.
That's pretty much how Kacharik has played ever since.
Kacharik is the masher or the mashie.
Yeah,
but never. He's never like us. He never takes. He's always in the middle of it, whether for good or for bad. He's never like on the sidelines watching. He either sprints in and gets smashed to pieces, or he wrecks face. It's one of the two.
Yes.
And so what else have we got in here? Someone said Daughters Cain art on the card arts in the gift box. 2 of them look like witch elves, so they might have a hag leader. I really want one of those one of the snake ones with the big snake body and like the bows. That would be pretty awesome, I think. So, next question on the list: how excited are we for Ripper Snarlfangs? At first, they didn't think they added much to the game. However, looking at the number of upgrades they can react to an attack, such as Dirty Fighter and Duelist Speed, he's thinking there could be some interesting shenanigans. After you, Robin, how are you feeling about Ripper Snarlfangs?
I have to say, I've been so busy this week, I haven't really had time to look at them properly. They're more interesting than I was expecting them to be. The models, I started trying to throw some paint on them today to try and make them look a little bit better on the tabletop on Wednesday, because we're going to be playing them on Wednesday night, and the models are lovely, really great. Although, just a top tip for you: don't forget to cut one of the goblins' faces off the sprue and then throw the sprue away, because they don't look so good with just a peg for a nose. But luckily the recycling hadn't been taken away, so I got that out today. But the models are lovely, and I'm far more interested in the like Andrew says, not Andrew, that's Jeff's question, wasn't it? I'm far more interested in that second attack now. It looks quite interesting, and it's got a few. I think there are definitely some options there to make it work and kind of do things a little bit different. And that second attack is a new thing, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the fact that they're a break from the other warbands we've already seen. So we've had 3 fairly large warbands so far. We've had a 5, a 6, and a 7 fighter warband come up so far, and they all can do some objective grabbing just because of the numbers, although I think the Despoilers are definitely more of an offensive warband than an objective grabbing warband overall. But Snarlfangs Rippers are definitely not going to be about grabbing objectives.
No, and I would be interested to see if you can make. Games Workshop are clearly asking you to try and make the supporting side of it work.
Yeah.
And I'd be really interested to see whether that is possible to do. I kind of feel like with 3, I've always found that really hard. I know there are some people who've played very defensively, and you can keep that one where you score glory if they're all in a line, and they don't move and things like that. But I don't think Ripper's going to be able to do that. So I feel like trying to get the supports in is going to be tricky. But there's lots of cards that will will work together with supporting things. And I think they've got some objectives to support that as well. So it'll be interesting to see whether that can be made to work. I don't think I'm going to be taking the Grand Clash, however. But I've realised the Grand Clash really isn't that far away with Christmas in between. Yeah. So goodness knows what I'm going to be taking to the Grand Clash, because at the moment I have barely any time. I've barely got enough time to put the deck together this week. We're playing the one straight out of the box.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, this week, like as Robin said, we're going to be fighting depending on what our $10 patrons have picked, and at the minute it's looking like it's going to be the Hunt and the Grimwatch. Now, I did realise when I put those votes up that I didn't include either of the Dreadfane warbands, so maybe that'll be the next week's pick or something like that. But we will be playing with the warbands just as the decks that they come with, and we'll see how they balance up.
Yeah.
Now, I did watch a game on Twitch between a man and I can't remember the other gentleman's name.
A woman?
No.
Sorry.
On their Twitter, Path to Glory, on the Path to Glory Twitch channel. Obviously, they've got a blog and all that kind of stuff going as well. Worth checking out. Definitely worth checking out. A man obviously is a Grand Clash winner, and he's got a lot of glass to back his up.
They might both
what he
be.
says.
I think they won the team championship.
Oh, they might have done, yes.
Yeah.
So they're good players, and they do they do quite a funky little live sort of stream play. Where one of them has, I think, a man has the board set up, and the other guy's got a screen set up, and he streams. It's a great setup. But I was watching part of their game where they play Gitz versus Ripper, and I think at one point he ends up charging with Ripper with a 9-hex charge because of a couple of the ploys or upgrades he plays. So he comes from like one end of the board all the way across.
Wow!
It ends up with a 9-hex charge because he was inspired, which thing, and all the rest, all the other things he had.
Okay, they've got a +2. There's a +2 quarry. There's a +1 movement or +2 if you're a hunter or something, isn't there? Card, and I think there's a +2 ploy as well or something.
Yeah. So it was pretty mental to watch this wolf hurtle all the way over to this. It does mean your boss is never safe. You can generally sort of put them near the back and think, oh, I'm probably okay here, but not safe in that situation.
Did you then whiff the attacks?
No, well, I don't want to give away what happened, but I probably can't because I can't remember what happened either. But I was also mostly sitting there taking notes on how we could rip off the setup they've got and do that ourselves mercilessly. But worth a watch. It was good seeing.
Sure. You need to work on that. Rip off is. You need to find a better way of putting that. A more sort of, I don't know, a way to enhance or.
Well, they're saying that
homage to
thingy is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yep,
Copying,
that's true.
Whatever it is, ripping off.
That's true. Although I always feel slightly aggrieved when I find somebody, another YouTube channel, and they've kind of copied out a setup, which is very childish of me. But
How dare they? How dare they?
And I say, I don't even know why I can agree because I haven't done any of that. That's all Pete did. So it's when they start stealing my jokes, that's when I shall get cross.
No one's stealing your jokes, Robin.
Nobody
wants your jokes. Yeah, I've tried selling them. I can't. I ended up in debt. Oh dear, but it is quite fun to watch. Sorry, it is, yes. Dave Chris just says, Jonathan, you won the Grand Clash with the Reavers.
Oh wow, okay.
You can win the Grand Clash with Reavers.
There are multiple clash winners between them.
So you should be watching them, not us. I mean, what the fuck do we know? We just sit here in a garage talking nonsense.
Oh, we're down to 59 patch readers. Oh, 58.
Have I mentioned how great patch reader is in the last 5 minutes? Anyway, moving on. So we've got another question on here from our patrons saying, do we think that objective play is now viable, or do you think it's better to play more of a hybrid deck? I reckon if you went full proper balls out to the wall objective, just go all movement cards and poison. Just go all, yes, because you can't see this video, guys, so I can say. I think if you went full all about the objectives, ploys, and all that kind of stuff, I reckon you could probably make a fairly viable objective-based deck now, even with the spells that could swap them over, because I don't think a lot of people will bother taking them still. So, I mean, that's my thought anyway. I'd certainly like to try it, but at the same time, I know it would melt my tiny little brain trying to work out each round what I'm doing.
I think you definitely can, especially with the keys thrown in. The problem with doing it is that you end up with quite a fragile warband, as I found out with the goblins last week. But I think maybe hybrid is probably the safer way to go, because you've got options. You've got options either way, and I think you could still probably get quite a lot of glory whilst being hybridy. I think. I don't really know. Yeah. I mean, it's the best decks, I guess, are the most efficient ones, aren't they? We played when did we play Thundrix? That was last week, wasn't it? We played
Thundrix versus Scathe. Yes, we played that last week.
That deck was very efficient. I did find a couple of deficiencies of it when we played, but it done very well at the Grand Clash. It's efficiency. It's efficiency, and I don't know how it's easier to get efficiency, I think, for aggressive warband with some aggressive play, and then I think it's quite hard to be super efficient with objectives because you're relying quite a lot on your opponent. Can mess up your plan, and so you need things to counter that, but you don't know what those things might be.
Yeah,
kind of waffling now. I don't even know if that makes any sense whatsoever.
C. Muley just asked about what is the minimum to become a Patreon fanboy. It is just $2. If you go in at the $2 level, you will get all of our videos a week early and ad free. If you get to the $5 level, you do start to get the extra games each month as well. So we're hopefully 3 games a month. So it's worth a look. You never know. And I do think, going back to our point about...
Well, VJ's here. Hello, VJ.
Hello.
As you can see, I'm not here.
Yeah, VJ's not there, but you can hear his disembodied voice. He's been dismembered. I think that it was evident, even when Beastgrave first landed and the cards got sort of swapped out and everything like that, that we almost immediately started to play hybrid decks because the cards were gone from being able to play just an all-out offensive deck, and they've only strengthened the objective grabbing side of things since.
Yeah.
So and I love that. I really do like the fact that they've really concentrated on that.
Definitely, there's definitely. I think I've said it every week, but there's definitely more on the game for control players now. Which I think is nice.
Yep. So I think whilst objective play is all out objective play is definitely doable, I think flex, hybrid, whatever you want to call it, is still the safest way to go, and you can still sort of play offensive, but even then with an all out offensive deck you're probably still going to have maybe 1 or 2 objective cards in there. So
I think there's too many quite easy cards to score, especially with some of the bigger warbands, even if you're playing them offensively. That's all about early glory generation, isn't it? And there are a couple of cards that are quite easy to score with the score immediately after an activation cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think hybrid is probably the way to go. but I think our all-out objective might be more fun, or certainly more swingy. It could be really good or really bad.
Someone did ask us. Now we have our new shiny gear, which is attributing to hopefully most of this what you can see. Although no Robin right now, but hopefully he'll be here next time. Anybody who's just joined us,
The Black Void.
yeah, we've had a few last minute technical issues because we literally hadn't tried setting this up until 5 minutes before the stream was due to start.
There's a lesson there, isn't there?
Yeah, I can't work out what that lesson might be,
Yeah.
but so. We are still paying the machines off. We haven't actually bought them yet. They're still technically not ours.
What?
So, yeah, I may have spent the money on something else. Beard extensions.
Yeah, your e-bar extensions.
But anybody who's just joined us, Robin is there in the background, and this is, and I just want to say it again, it's Thank You Patrons Day, and I just want to say a great big thank you to all our patrons, supporters, all our ex-Patreon supporters, all our new Patreon supporters, whether you've been with us a day or since day -1. We love all of you.
Keep up the honest reviews. We will do our best, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, you feel really mean sometimes when they send you something really nice, and then you sit there and go, "It's crap, don't like it." But you can't just say it's nice just because they send it to you for free. Although do keep sending us stuff.
An honest review. Always, that's my motto. I've reviewed a lot of things over the years. It's always meant to be more honest, and I don't tend to. If generally, because I review books as well. Generally, if a book's rubbish, I won't review it because nobody sets out to make something completely rubbish with a book. But I kind of feel that for this, it's worth saying this. Particularly the board is crap. We all like those kind of accessories, and so you want it to be nice. And the board in particular isn't very nice.
Yeah, it's a I think with a book it can be harder because if someone writes a book, a lot of it can be just them, especially if it's like someone who's starting from scratch or someone who's new, not like necessarily Dan Brown or anybody like that, but a lot of people. When they write a book, they're putting a lot of themselves in it.
Exactly.
With the things that GW are doing, though, I mean, that gift pack thing really doesn't feel like any one person was like, yeah, let's do a gift pack with some new cards and some old cards, and we'll, I don't know, stick a board in there and some tokens, fuck it, something like that. Make it happen anyway. We'll sell fucking loads of them.
Exactly.
And that kind of feels like how that came about.
Mm.
But so I don't mind necessarily saying things like those, that it's a bit naff. It's feels a bit of a cash grab or a bit of a gouge, and the quality of the card board isn't great.
No. Plus, if you say everything's great all the time, your opinion eventually has no weight because
that is true.
You just people learn. They get. If I said it was brilliant and then you went out and bought it,
and it wasn't.
You necessarily buy it on the strength of my say so. But if you all went out and bought it, you'd be like, "Romy's an idiot. This isn't brilliant at all." As it is, you've got there are many other reasons why I might be an idiot, but that's not one of them.
I can safely say that is not the main reason why you're an idiot, Robin. Definitely.
I have noted, VJ, that Pete is swearing, and I shall be talking to him about it afterwards.
This isn't a PG-13 channel.
In the
past watershed.
Live update in the live chat debrief.
Anybody who's interested
in the language.
Anybody who's interested in seeing all the cards, by the way, who hasn't yet, they are all on Underworld's DB. He has snuffled them all out from their official library and stuck them all into Underworld's DB already, so you can see them all on there, which is freaking awesome. I love it. I think, as Sean says there, the hardest thing is if you recommend a bad product you get for free, you're just an advertiser. Yeah. And if you're going to do that, you might as well work for them, right? Because then you're just going to be sitting there going, this thing's awesome, isn't it? Honest.
That's true.
To be fair, most of the time, everything GW does, we do sit there and say it's awesome, because like 90% of what they do is friggin' awesome.
Well, the miniatures are.
The miniatures definitely are, yes. But this one wasn't a miniature release.
Yeah, I mean, Games Workshop, and most of the stuff is, particularly the Underworld stuff. I mean, we don't really deal with the other stuff anymore, but the Underworld stuff is superb as a game. I think it's brilliant. But anyway, we seem to have got onto the negative things again, and there's lots of positive. I mean, there's Ripper's got some great cards, and we haven't really talked about the Dreadfang box, have we? I mean, I'm quite interested to try and play those. We haven't played those warbands yet with all the other cards in. So I'm
No, we
quite
haven't.
interested to do that.
I am very interested to play them. Although, again, some people have got some not great opinions of the Dreadfane Warband thing because it's just them with the cards and that's it. But you do get 2 in one box, I guess.
I haven't seen how much it is. I have to say.
I think it's more than a general warband, but you do get 2 warbands. So
you get 2 warbands and 2 lots of cards. I know there's no universal cards in it, which is an interesting decision, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad decision because I think, if anything, Nightvolt, there were just too many universal cards at the end of it.
Yeah.
There were too many to play with, and there were loads you didn't use. I don't think it's bad that the universal cards are slimmed down. And one of the things I really like about Season 3, as I've said before, is that you can play with just the warbands. So you don't have to have the universal at all. I like that. So it's nice that we can take that on.
I mean, it's a real lifesaver for us because this week neither of us had a chance to build a deck, but it means we can sit down with Ripper's Snarlfangs and with the other bands that they're going to come up against and play just warband deck battles, and I quite enjoy them as well.
Yeah.
The actual Warhammer Underworld's Champions of Dreadfane box is £35 if you don't go via somebody like the Outpost, just for example, or one of those other online retailers that sell it at a discount. They sell it for £28.
Right. Okay.
So it's
which is it's about that's the price of double a warband, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Warbands. I don't know.
Whilst you don't get 60. Excuse me. Whilst you don't get 60. The words have gone from my brain. That's
universal
the word. I can
cards.
never remember that word. Yes. Whilst you don't get 60 universal cards, you do get 2 warbands. So kind of levels up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm just reading through the comments. I suspect Robin as well, so I'm going to let Robin read through the comments and I'm going to keep
I'm just
jabbering.
reading Dale's. It says there seems there are 2 ways to approach Underworld. 1, buy what you want and play with your friends, and 2, buy everything and play competitively. That's definitely true, but I kind of almost feel that Beastgrave almost promotes 1 more than 2 in some ways, I think. I don't know. I know there are obviously people who still buy everything.
You mean option 1 instead of option 2?
Games Workshop have kind of said, actually, it's all right to play less competitively. You don't need, there are less universal cards. Maybe you need them less. I don't know. And you can certainly, with the being able to play the faction out of the box, I think you can definitely just play with your friends. So I think, I think that's definitely very positive. But I definitely agree with that, Dale. And it's quite hard for us because obviously we want to reflect what the meta is. So we kind of almost feel like we want to have everything, and of course we get everything twice so that we can play it, and we don't have proxies and things. So
we're also in that position where we're not very competitive. So we're doing the competitive purchase everything, but we're certainly not playing the competitive might win some glass somewhere.
No, but because we find that if we don't do that, then people will say, well, why didn't you play X?
Yeah.
It's like because we don't own it, and then because I'm sure. We cut last week. We cut the Thundrix versus the Scath Hunt game, and I think that we will. That may go. Is that going live on Friday on Patreon, Pete?
Which one?
The Scath Hunt versus the Thundrix.
That will be hopefully live this Friday on Patreon. Yes, we were hoping to get the Ripper Snarlfangs stuff out, but because we're not meeting till tomorrow to record the games, I probably won't have a chance to get them ready by Friday. You
can guarantee that when it goes live on YouTube, we'll get at least 2 comments saying, why haven't you played one of the new cards? I can't remember the time off the top of my head. Why haven't you put that one in your deck? I was like, well, because we didn't play it. But people always comment on what you don't, what card you haven't got.
My favourite is when we
tend to try and play with everything.
My favourite is when we tend to, when a game comes out on YouTube, which is usually at least 3 weeks after we've recorded it, and a new bar list has just landed like that day, and then someone immediately comments something like, oh, you can't play that card, it's banned now. You're like, yeah, but it wasn't when we recorded the game. Come on, give us a bit of a break. Dale says, being a content creator, you're a bit on the hook to have every faction card. We are, that is true, and that's part of the reason why we ended up doing Underworlds and not 40k or AOS or something like that, because we just could not keep up with those systems. There's just too much there for that.
We're just a 2-man outfit, so there's no way we could play any of the main army games unless we played this week. We're playing the whatever army I was having against whatever Pete was having the same week every week.
Yeah, and our painting is so slow that you wouldn't see new units or anything like that for months at a time.
So Underworld is perfect for that. Lots of people saying how, agreeing that we have to have every card being content creators. And David has said he enjoys the way we play, which is nice. Much more entertaining to watch. And it's the way everybody play. If it's too competitive, it stops being fun. I think that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think it's when you become so sort of fixated on the competitiveness of it. I mean, it's all right when it's going well, but when it goes badly, then for me anyway, it certainly stops being fun.
Anonymous Jeff says that we should replace all intros with the full rule book, FAQ and FARC list that was live. We'll just read the whole thing. And now on to the 14-page errata. This was correct as of June the 15th, and we'll just run through everything now.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep.
And then the very nice person who always puts where the live chat starts, what time here, he could then put wherever time the actual game started on the
Whoever
videos.
you are a wonderful man.
Yeah, I guess they must watch it after the fact. I don't think I've ever seen them comment in the live chat, but thank you very much.
Yeah, whoever you are.
You're an unsung hero of the group that we don't speak to, but thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you will always live on in our hearts. And I think
flip the table now and again, Andrew Edson has been known to us to nearly flip the table.
There's just sometimes where one of us will just roll the dice, and it'll be after a whole game worth of terrible dice or something like that. And you won't hear what happens next, because I'll probably cut out the next 30 seconds, because one of us will be cackling and the other one will be coming up with every offensive word they can think of to throw at those dice. So quite often I end up snorting to myself when I'm on the train, as long as it's not me rolling the dice, obviously, especially if it's Robin getting the dice wrong. I have a little snort to myself on the train.
I was trying to roll the other day. I can't remember what it was now. I was just desperately trying to roll. Well, I think trying to score. Trying to get a critical, wasn't I? It was the Thunderix game. I was trying to get a critical. Just could not bloody get one.
Yeah, in fact, you had the card, I think, which was to do with getting a success on all your dice as well, and you couldn't score that for Toffee for ages because...
No.
And we
couldn't get any successes. Anyway,
we commented before the game about the fact that...
Be careful, beware of spoilers.
Well, we haven't said if he does score it or not, or what the end result is, but yeah.
But there was swearing in the middle, I tell you that much.
And I agree with Dave Hughes. He says if you can't have a laugh and a good chat about the game afterwards, or even during, then what's the point? And yeah, it's a game. At the end of the day, we're fully grown men here, playing with tiny little plastic toy soldiers. Look, I'm short, all right, but just because I'm short, there's no need to start with heightism. But yeah, we're playing with tiny little plastic men here in a make-believe land. So you know, if you can't have a little bit of a laugh about that, then something's gone wrong somewhere. Especially once you spend that much money on it. And another thing that Dale said about there's two kinds of ways to play the game, which is buy all of the stuff and be competitive, or buy what you like and play with your mates. I think that's true of any GW games. If you play 40k and you want to be competitive, you buy very specific warband lists. There are certain models you just don't even bother thinking about buying because they're not competitive, and then you'll have the other side of the equation where people just buy the models that they think look cool and they'll paint them or whatever, and they might be the worst models in the world, but it doesn't matter because you just like them and that's what you bought them for.
Now we've got some nice comments again. Very nice. It's very good for our egos doing this.
I love this game.
This thing. Andrew said they do flip the table sometimes. Sometimes in the matches all the models are moved ever so slightly. That's when we flip the table.
What you'll find normally is where we've played about 2 turns into the game and then one of us has realised that they couldn't do something, and we've realised it's so bad that we can't keep the game going. So we've had to reverse everything, and then I've had to cut all of that out, which I've just spent half an hour editing, and I've just had to cut that last bit out as well.
Because you forget by the time you come to record it that we went back.
Yeah.
Just keep editing. I had the same thing with Blackstone Fortress, and then Jason said he loves having an after-game discussion usually as much as playing the game. Yeah, we enjoy our after game discussions. I hope you guys enjoy them because because we do them all the time. So
because we can't help but talk.
Jeffrey gave away that he did actually watch it all the way to the end the other day with a comment on something we said toward the end of the video, which was quite nice. The comments coming thick and fast.
I'm wondering if we should put a bit at the end of our videos somewhere in our post game summary, and offer a prize to somebody if they to one of the people who randomly post the comment that we tell them they've got a post in there, just to see how many people will still watch. I mean, probably none, but yeah.
Yeah.
Some Dale said if 40k tournaments involving buy 3 of that £120 model just so you can play against somebody who's absolutely no fun. I know somebody who bought an Eldar army to play 40k competitively. He sent it off to get it painted, and then came back. It looks wonderful, and he went off and played with it, and he came like mid-table obscurity nowhere with this thing. But I just thought I'd hate to do that, because it's like, where's the fun in it? Just, I mean, maybe he likes playing the tournaments, but I mean, I personally don't. But I'd like to have the models and buy the models I like the look of, not just this is the optimal outlay.
Yeah, I agree. I just like to buy knights on horseback really when I'm playing, but can't do that anymore.
Well, maybe the old world coming back, you never know.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't talked about that. I mean,
We haven't.
Very quickly, because it is 11:15.
Oh crap!
Anybody here other than me excited for this old world Warhammer thing coming back?
Now, I have mixed feelings about it, because it can't be round bases because they've got AOS, so it's going to have to be square bases. That means it's probably going to have to be all new models, because it's probably going to go to Forge World, so it's going to have to be all new models as well. Who's got the time for that kind of game anymore? I mean, obviously, several people who still have all their lizardmen on square bases.
Ed says Bretonians aren't on the list. They're on my list, Ed. Are they not on the list? Are they
What
not
list
on the
is that?
I haven't seen a list. Is there a list?
What list? Ah, there's a list! See, I did say to you, Robin, you weren't getting Bretonians. I said that to you.
Sorry?
I told you weren't going to get your Bretonians. I said that they weren't going to bring Bretonians back.
It's right on the middle of the map on the little thumbnail picture of the advert. Oh, Ed's just goading me. Oh, Ed. You might be our longest standing patron, but you might be ejected from the group if you carry on.
He's lying. We'll never get rid of you, Ed. He'd get rid of me before he gets rid of you. As long as you can edit some videos for us.
That's definitely true. It's the truest thing he said all evening.
Yep, and I even said what my name was at one point. So, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't think I've got time to do an old style game anymore, but I hope they go a bit more. I can't remember if it's Kings of War or Mantic or one of them. The units are big square blocks, but they don't change size during the game. You don't take models off as they die. They go down in strength, and that affects how they fight, but the unit itself stays the same size, which I kind of like. It means you can make your units more thematic. You can have like a mound, like a big monster on a mound in the middle of some of your troops, and then that represents the unit or something like that. And it being Forge World as well, they're probably going to be crazy models.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Forge World, then there's just no way I could afford it if it was proper old Warhammer Fantasy Battle, because there's too many models. So I'd be interested to see. I kind of feel like game design has moved on a lot, even since the last Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I kind of feel like maybe they're going to produce a new game with streamlined models. I know they're talking about having square bases, and it'll be a different experience, but it'll still be in the old world. And I really like the old. I like the old world. Basically, somebody else here said that they really like it because of playing Warhammer Fantasy role play, and that's why I like it. I absolutely love it, and I'd love to play games there too. But it would have to be quick and easy to play. Otherwise, we're not going to have the time. We're not going to have a time to play. If you want a rank flank game, Kings of War, quicker and less fiddly. Yeah, well, that may be true, Jason. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure I do. I just would love to see some new. If they weren't too expensive, I'd just love to see some new old world models to play, just to paint them. But we'll see. They're likely to be too expensive, and I'm scared of resin. Every time we go to Forge and look at the model, I can't even begin to imagine sorting that lot out.
The things that put me off about resin, I mean, anybody who's worked with resin, it's just horrific. Yeah. You can buy completely straight pieces that actually aren't completely straight at all, and then you have to try and reset them using really hot water, and that's a whole world of pain. And trying to stick them together, because obviously you've got to use super glue, but you need to score them and make sure they've all been cleaned of any of the releasing agents and all that kind of thing. I had my Skaven Blood Bowl team. I bought the pack of 4 extra models. I ended up, I think, putting 2 of them together in the end. and that was it. And the bubbles as well. It was
The
just
bubble, yeah. I
the
think
horrific pain.
I struggle even to put the easy quick miniatures together from Wonderworlds. They're just looking at the walls. I've got to get these together. I've got to get when I threw one a bit away, didn't I? But I've got to get these together, and then I look at them. They've got like big gaps everywhere, and so anyway, so it's probably not the game for me. But I can still be excited about it.
Yeah, I think it might, depending on how they do it, it might conjure up some old fond memories, but yes. I suspect it won't ever be a game that I play.
And if they just bought one Bretonian Knight back, I would buy it.
Just the one.
Just the one. Right.
Now we didn't talk much about Ripper in the end. But to be honest, I don't know how much I can talk about Ripper right now because I've literally not looked at any of his cards yet.
We haven't played with him yet, have we? We will play our first game tomorrow night. We're playing. Perhaps we'll post some pictures. But we haven't played with him yet. So I think until you've played it, you can't really.
No, it's hard to comment. So we'll probably talk about them a bit more next week.
It's a bit like reading the travel guide before you go on holiday. You just can't really get a sense of what things are until you get there.
True. I am excited by our new machines. I recorded something last night when I was playing Warhammer Underworlds. Obviously, I can't release that online. We have an NDA in place, and I can't show you any of that or anything like that. But I recorded a little bit locally just to test all our software and our capabilities. And I reckon soon-ish we should be able to start doing some digital content, possibly Blood Bowl, things like that. There is also Warhammer Total War. I mean, we were both sort of interested in that as well, so maybe those are things we might be able to put little bits in around the edges where we've got the time. Be interesting.
Yeah, that would be nice. Be interesting. Adrian Scott says Kings of War is the best fantasy mass battle game around. Honestly, doesn't see the new Warhammer game being better. Well, I think you might be right. I haven't played Kings of War, but people keep talking about it, and I keep thinking maybe I'll just buy the rules to have a look. But
maybe I'll just have a little look.
Probably don't need to do that since I bought the new Warlord rules that were written by Rick Priestley at the beginning of the year, and I put them in the cupboard back in January or whenever it arrived, and it's still in the cupboard and hasn't been taken out. Yeah. You
never know. You never know what lies into next year in 2020. We have already got up to 60 Patreon supporters now, so the sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit.
RL Fam says, hello, and how are we today? We're good, but unfortunately we are about to wrap things up for tonight, so do keep an eye out. You will be able to pick this up and watch this video back tomorrow on YouTube, obviously. It will be up completely available the whole time. But unfortunately, we are nearing the end of our broadcast this evening.
Yes, a couple of things. Yeah, Joan of Arc looks great. I do think Joan of Arc looks really good, but I haven't got time to play another game or assimilate another game to play.
Joan of Arc?
And then somebody's really enjoying the energy we bring to games of Blackstone Fortress. Our Blackstone Fortress content has kind of dropped off, and I'm kind of feel like I should get back on it. I have got one to do, but I've been so busy I haven't we had to cut it yet, edit it yet, but I guess we should get back on that, Pete.
Yeah, well, get editing.
Yeah, I will do. I'll get editing, and then we'll play another game, and then I must do it.
Yeah, and the other thing that will be cool about us being able to play some digital stuff is, as Ed said there, give them a Steam. If we need a Steam guinea pig, to give them a shout. And I don't know what steamed guinea pig tastes like, but hopefully we can use that to play some of you guys a bit more and get some of you guys on the channel in new and funky ways with things like Blood Bowl and stuff like that. And at some point early next year, when Underworlds Online comes out, that too. Yeah, brilliant. That'd be really good. Andrew says he likes the reviews of more obscure games. Unfortunately, I just had to leave one on the cutting room floor because when I got back, I went to edit it. It was rubbish. But we'll try and bring more of those too. Andrew, I did a written review. I'll post it up on Facebook so you can have a look at it, and Patreon of a game called Copenhagen, which is really great. If anybody hasn't played that or has played it, it's a really good game. I'll post that soon. So the problem we do have though is we'd love to play a different game every week. We said this last week, I think, as well. We'd love to play a new game every week, but finding the time is just because obviously a lot of you guys are here for the Underworlds content, and you know that's the thing that's getting us noticed and is getting us the views. So if we shy away from that, that impacts us negatively. So hopefully with the digital stuff we can get more content out on that side, and that will maybe give us a bit more time to then be able to do some of the other games as well around the edges when we can because digital games are much easier, a lot less effort for us. There's not as much editing and stuff like that. So who knows?
Yeah.
Exciting stuff for the new year, I hope.
Yes. Okay then, guys.
So
I'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully this time next week we'll be back, and Robin you'll see his beautiful face on screen over there. And
Yes.
so we shall see you all soon, guys.
Yeah.
See you
Take
next
care,
week.
guys. Bye.
Bye.